I sat in my office, the dull hum of the air conditioning filling the room with a sense of monotony. It had been 2 years since my life had been turned upside down by my ex-wife's affair with our babysitter. 2 years of healing, of rebuilding, of coming to terms with the betrayal that had shattered my world. And yet, here I was, still haunted by the past. The phone call from my ex had caught me off guard. I had long since cut off contact with her, choosing to focus on co-parenting our children rather than rehashing the pain of our failed marriage. But hearing her voice on the other end of the line brought back a flood of memories, of emotions that I had worked so hard to bury. "How are you doing?" she had asked, her voice hesitant, almost unsure. I could sense the vulnerability in her tone, the cracks in the facade that she had once hidden behind so well. And yet, despite everything that had happened between us, a part of me still felt a twinge of sympathy for her. "I think I pulled the trigger too soon," she continued, her words echoing in my ears. I could almost picture her face, the furrowed brow, the troubled eyes that had once looked at me with such love and devotion. But now, all I saw was regret, a deep regret that she couldn't seem to shake. "Do you think you'll get married again?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. It was a question that I had asked myself countless times in the past 2 years, a question that had no easy answer. And yet, as I listened to her voice, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief that I had escaped the turmoil of our past life together. "I made a big mistake with girlfriend's name, who still lives with her. I don't know what I was thinking," she confessed, her words hanging heavy in the air. I wanted to scream, to unleash all the anger and hurt that had been festering inside me for so long. But instead, I simply listened, my heart heavy with the weight of her words. "I have another question for you," she said, her voice trailing off. And in that moment, I knew that whatever question she had for me, I didn't want to hear it. I needed to protect myself, to shield myself from the pain that she had inflicted on me so callously in the past. "I actually had to go because work was calling," I interrupted, the words tumbling out of my mouth before I could stop them. And with that, I hung up, cutting off the connection between us once and for all. It was a small victory, a small act of defiance against the woman who had once held my heart in her hands. As I sat in my office, the weight of her words pressing down on me, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. It was over, finally over. And as I packed up my things and headed out into the world, I knew that I was ready to leave the past behind me and start fresh. But just as I thought I had finally escaped the grasp of my ex-wife's betrayal, a new piece of information came to light. A few weeks ago, one of my young kids had mentioned a heated argument between my ex-wife and her girlfriend, a fight over a phone, and a bad word spoken in anger. It was a small glimpse into the chaos that still reigned in her life, a chaos that I was all too familiar with. I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction at the news. It was a petty emotion, I knew, but after everything that had happened, it felt like a small victory. I was on the other side of the hill now, skiing towards a new life, a life that was free from the pain and heartache of the past. And as I drove away from my office, the sun setting in the distance, I felt a sense of peace settle over me. The road ahead was long and uncertain, but for the first time in 2 years, I felt hopeful. Hopeful for a future that was bright and full of possibilities, a future that was mine and mine alone. And as I drove into the sunset, leaving the shadows of my past behind me, I knew that I was ready to embrace whatever lay ahead.